For the record, my name is Senator Ben Brown of the 26th District, and I'd like to thank the committee for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 63. Currently, most Missouri parents who choose to take on the additional burden of homeschooling their children are not permitted to participate in sports and extracurricular activities. This despite the fact that these parents are still required to pay the taxes to help fund these programs, while also taking on the additional investment of time and financial resources that come with providing homeschooling. As a former athlete whose life was greatly impacted by my participation in the sport of wrestling as a teenager, I feel strongly that it is wrong to deny these potentially life-changing opportunities to children. Senate Bill 63 provides that the school district shall not prohibit a homeschool or full-time virtual school student from participating in the athletic or extracurricular programs that are funded in part by their parents' tax dollars. While it provides access to these programs, it also states that the school disciplinary policies would still apply. This ensures that homeschooled students would still be held to the same behavioral standards as their full-time public school counterparts. Any hourly attendance requirements directly tied to the sport or extracurricular activity would still be required. For example, attendance in a band class, where the band class is essentially serving as the practice for that activity. Same with certain activities pertaining to agricultural, other performing arts, etc. Given the current landscape where children are often bound to a school district based on their residency, homeschooling may be the only feasible alternative for parents who reside in an underperforming district. I believe that it's not right that a child be denied the additional enrichment and life skills that participation in youth athletics provides simply because their parents wish to take it upon themselves to ensure the quality of their children's education. I'll also point out that a nearly identical version of this bill that I filed passed out of the Senate the session before last with bipartisan support with a vote of 32-2. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for presentation, Senator. Any questions for the bill sponsor? Seeing none? Thank you, Senator. All right, who would like to testify in favor of Senate Bill 63? Welcome. State your name, begin when ready. And are we timing the witnesses? Mr. Chair did not. Okay, so you've got 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to talk really fast. Okay.
Proceed.
Good morning. My name is Kim Kwan, and I am the Families for Home Education Director. And I was just wanting to, we are a statewide homeschool organization for Missouri since 1983. Cheryl Smith, our lobbyist, she was actually planning to be here today, but she's homesick. Anyway, I'm here today to talk about the other part of the bill, the repeal of 167.042, which has caused confusion and problems over the years. It says a homeschool family may file a declaration of intent to homeschool. This filing is not mandatory and never has been. It says the purpose of the filing is to minimize unnecessary investigations, but it has had the opposite effect. It has spurred many unnecessary discussions and investigations. FHE has worked with numerous families over the years where the school would not unenroll the child even though the family did send the school a written notice to withdraw. Families with high school students have been told that the school would consider the teen a dropout instead of a teen transferring to another legal school option in Missouri. Families have been harassed that if they do not fill out the school paperwork, again, after sending the school their own written withdrawal, then the school would turn them over to a truancy officer. I've got several examples in the testimony, but in light of time, I will move on. Okay, there are many cases similar to the ones that are in my testimony, with many resolved by FHE guiding the family through a conversation with the school and not always requiring intervention on the family's behalf. The schools chronically, habitually misunderstand and misapply 167.042. When the Missouri legislature enacted the optional declaration of enrollment way back in 1986, its intent was to reduce headaches, reduce confusion, and reduce unnecessary investigations. You can see by this sampling of issues that it has accomplished exactly the opposite of what was intended, creating unnecessary frustration, confusion, and time ill spent. I respectfully ask that you vote yes on SB 63 and help end the confusion and harassment that 167.042 has unintentionally caused over the years. Thank you. Did I
Thank
make
you
my
very
2
much.
minutes?
No, that was perfect. Right on the money. Anyone have any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anyone else to testify in support? Please come forward. Remember to fill a witness form.
Hi, my name is Jenny Steelman, and I am a constituent of the 33rd District, and I'm here in support of SB 63. My husband Matt and I are currently living and raising our 3 children in Branson. Royal is 10, Jasper is 9, and Oakley almost 8. I'm a former elementary and middle school special education teacher, and I am now just a homeschool mom. I also am the library director at Veritas, the largest enrichment co-op in our area, where I run a large curriculum and lending library. I teach library science classes and consult with parents regarding curriculum choices. And I am an advocate for homeschool. All that to say, I speak to parents and kids on a weekly basis. We have a large, active community consisting of hundreds of students, and it's growing. So the reason I'm here is to not only represent my own children, but all the homeschooling children and families in our school district and our area. Homeschool families in our area are being forced into making serious decisions for their families in 7th grade because of the current rules regarding activities. The Branson Public School District, which is where we reside, currently requires that homeschooling students sit for 6 class periods in order to participate in activities. Knowing that would basically transition a homeschool student into a public school student, they are withholding those opportunities from us. This is discriminatory against families who have made non-traditional education choices, a freedom that is protected by the state of Missouri, and essentially it takes that choice away from us. Our 3 children are athletes already. They are involved in football, basketball, volleyball, baseball, gymnastics, and martial arts. We're a sports family. And in Branson, we have homeschoolers, private schoolers, and public schoolers all currently playing these youth sports together until 6th grade. And we are a close-knit community. Our kids have built friendships, and we have created bonds with coaches and other parents. However, the fate of every homeschool and private school family here is that they will ultimately have to decide after that. Do we continue to homeschool? Do we quit homeschooling and enroll in public school? Or do we altogether quit pursuing these activities for our children, which is sadly what a lot of families do because they don't have the ability or the means to travel. Branson is, by most regards, still a small town, and outside of the city recreation leagues and public school youth sports programs, there aren't many opportunities for homeschoolers to participate in activities here. I'll shorten it. I had a little bit more, but we do contribute to the same public pool of dollars that every other family in our school district does, and it provides very new or updated facilities, turf fields, and highly skilled coaches, and we don't have access to those things unless we quit homeschooling in our school district. And I'll just wrap it up. If you would just please support the bill, just to even the playing field and keep our communities together. We want to stay playing with our friends and neighbors.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming up today, and appreciate your testimony.
Thank you. Thank you
Anyone
for
have any
listening.
questions? See none. Thank you very much. Anyone else testify in support? Please proceed.
Good morning, Chairman Bratton and the ladies and gentlemen of the committee. My name is Lydia Meredith, and I'm here from Joplin, Missouri. I am a homeschooled student. I've been homeschooled my whole life, and I'm currently in my senior year of high school. For many years of my life, I participated in a competitive club swim team, but when all my friends moved on to the school team, I couldn't. And at that time, and until very recently, my school district did not allow homeschool participation of any kind. I left my friends, coach, and all the progress that I had made. This year, the Senate Majority Caucus leadership outlined its top priorities for the 2025 legislative session. This included educational reform and, quote, expanding opportunities for students. In 2024, it was estimated that around 6% of all school-age children in Missouri were homeschooled. And these are students in your district, estimated around 31,000 students total. Sports and extracurriculars provide students with critical life lessons and lifelong memories. It would be dishonest to claim to be prioritizing expanding opportunities for students while neglecting a large demographic of them. This bill has failed to pass for over a decade. This is my fourth year of testifying and advocating for this bill, which at this point no longer benefits me. Before me came other Missouri students asking to be given the same opportunity to play for local sports teams, to join band, or join a local debate team. Every year this bill is not passed is another year the Missouri legislature is complicit in denying key educational experiences for students. I'm not asking only for your vote, but for your advocacy to see this bill through the end. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Anyone else testify in support? Thank you for coming on.
Hello, my name is Melody Meredith. I'm 10 years old and am homeschooled in Joplin. You've heard our family story about how our school districts recently changed their policy to allow homeschoolers to participate. Even though I do not know what activities I will want to participate in when I get to junior high, I'm glad I will have the opportunity. Some of my friends in neighboring towns don't even have the option yet because their schools still do not allow non-traditional students like us to participate. I watched my older brothers participate for a couple years now, and I know they have had a lot of fun, made new friends, and gotten better in their sports with good coaching. I hope that you allow this bill to pass so that my siblings and I can for sure to play sports. I think it's also important to give other homeschoolers the option as well. And thank you for your time to listen to me. Do you have any questions?
Great job. Anyone have any questions? See none. Thank you very much. Anyone else testify in support?
Good morning, Senators. Those are my two daughters, proud father here. I also have two sons at home. So our family is from Joplin. We live in Joplin. And 2 years ago, using my pastoral and salesperson background, cajoled people to finally change the rules of the school district to allow for homeschool participation at the same time that Misha changed their policy to allow for middle school participation, which was a great win for us. So in my pitch to some of these school board members and as well as administrators was, you want our families in your schools. We are going to add value to your schools, to your communities, and we have. My two sons who have been participating for the last 2 seasons, one was voted defensive MVP for his football team, won the conference title for wrestling for his division. One was given 3, let's call them accommodations for being a good student when he was in class. One of those accommodations was just for being nice to a substitute teacher. It's kind of sad, right? But he got an accommodation for that. So we have been adding value to the school just through quality kids. And there's many other families like us, not just in our school districts, but in other school districts who have not had families, who have had the time and the skills and the resources to be able to convince people that they belong in these schools. So, do you have any questions for me?
Did you fill out a witness form?
I did.
Okay, all right, perfect. Anyone have any questions? See none. Thank you so much for your testimony
Thank
coming
you.
up. Anyone else testify in support? See none. Anyone for against?
Thank you, Senators. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this morning. I'm David Claridge today, appearing on behalf of Family Covenant Ministries, also known as Christian Home Education Fellowship. We represent approximately 2,200 homeschooling families throughout the state. Senators, you remember all the work that you put into 727 last year. This legislation, I believe, is improperly drafted because the way that it references full-time equivalent students, which is virtual school students, and then homeschool students, you actually created a separate category, you might remember, called family-paced education, which allows those students and parents that want to participate in public schools take state public money and intermingle with the public and governmental programs, allows them to do so under the designation of FPE. So I would encourage you to change the homeschool designation from 167.012 to 167.013, which is the FPE category. Now, understand the reason why this is extraordinarily important. Homeschoolers are families that school at home. If you participate in a governmental program, then along with that participation will come strings. So those families that want to participate may certainly do so. And if you'd like to pass something permitting them to do the extracurriculars and the sports and everything, understand that a school district has no possibility of distinguishing between Jane and Joe, one who's a public school student and one that is a homeschool student. When you put them on the same field or you put them in the same classroom, you give them the same educational opportunities in the governmental forum. That means that there's a certain burden imposed by those public schools that they have to oversee all of the safety and performance criteria and whatnot of both of those students. So if you would please just change the designation, we will certainly not be opposed.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions? See none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else to testify against? Please come forward.
Hi, I'm Madeline Openlander. I am a school counselor in the state of Missouri. I've been a public school counselor for the last 7 years. As a school counselor, I'm somebody who not only works with kids who are transitioning out of the public education system into homeschool, I also work with students who are on temporary homebound situations, and I work with the accreditability of the athletes that are in our middle school. I understand that curriculum and opportunities are something that are important to homeschool parents, but as it becomes their choice in an effort to control their children's academic environment, we're also taking away the opportunities from similar students who have to not only keep up with their academics, but also work on behavioral situations and social settings at school, and also working with their autonomy in order to be able to not only show up to school on time, but to navigate 7 different class periods throughout the day. When we talk about things like the rise of community and leaning on spiritual entities for being able to help on other aspects of what education is lacking, we should be able to lean on those entities for the extracurricular opportunities that we would like to put in place for all students. While we've heard today that schools might not want all students to be involved in every capacity, what we do want is for kids to be involved in school every single day with a community of people that the state has decided that we are operating the standards that we need to be, and also that we are rewarding kids every single day on and off the field for the things that they do that we see, like being kind to subs, being kind to their friends, being kind to the people around them, and learning the things that aren't just academic, but executive functioning, social skills, safety, behaviors, advancement in how they can work through their career options, as well as just the general activities that exist throughout the school day that are not necessarily sequestered to those extracurricular or after-school events. We also experience that students have inability to fund those things, to find transportation, even when they're part of our public school setting, and we have ways that we work around that all the time because of the resources we have in our buildings. And so I would just like to offer the opinion that these things are still available without legislative measures if we can look at creative ways to use the resources of time, money, and personnel. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anyone else to testify against? Anyone for informational purposes only? And that will conclude the hearing. We got to get to another one, so thank you for bringing this forward. We're going to hear Senator Carter's Senate Bill 151, correct?